I'm Nicholas Galitzki. I'm a postdoctoral fellow here with Simons Observatory. I originally hail from Washington State, near the town of Bremerton. I was at Washington State. I was an undergraduate at Caltech in Los Angeles, then did graduate school at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Between undergrad and graduate school, I took a couple years off to be a line cook for 1 year in Boulder, Colorado, being a ski bum. That was a lot of fun. And took another year to go to Korea, South Korea, in the capital Seoul, to be an English as a second language teacher at a language academy there. This skiing is not as good in San Diego as I would like. Mountains are just a bit farther than one would hope. However, I do anything outdoors, but predominantly rock climbing. And rock climbing around here is really good. I've tried picking up surfing a few times. One of my advisors here, Professor Cam Arnold, he's a really great surfer, which is, it's been humbling when I went out surfing with him once. I think his kids are already surfing. They're 3 or 4 or something like that. So I've tried it. I've tried surfing. It's fun, but I think I'm going to stick mostly to boogie boarding for now and a lot of sunscreen. I will say I was interested in astronomy from a young age, growing up in a rural area of Washington State. When it was not raining, I had a pretty good view of the sky, and got pretty curious about how the universe worked, how it all came together, and got captivated fairly early on with, say, Voyager spacecraft images, and wondering how all that came together. So that got me pretty curious early on. I also read a lot of science fiction as a kid, and I think that kind of pushed me into that. And so I've been doing astronomy from a pretty young age and stuck with it, and somehow it's worked out in the career, and they pay me to do it, which is pretty fantastic. Well, I've been at UCSD. I've primarily been working on the Simons Observatory, and I got started on that project right at its very beginning. I've had the very exciting opportunity to be part of the Simons Observatory from its first starts, from its design phase, or even before that, from its conceptualization to where it was this nebulous idea with a set of requirements that we wanted to translate into an actual physical observatory. And I've been able to be the entire process from that original conception of kind of what we wanted to do with it to actually, right now, we actually have the full design. We're actually cutting metal. Things are getting built. We've designed things, and we're kind of gearing up for the next phase, which is testing all this equipment and getting it to Chile. What I work on specifically is the design and implementation of the cameras for the Simons Observatory. And the cameras are quite special. They use cryogenic technology, so they are super cooled down to a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. And we use that for a variety of reasons, for our detector technology and also for sensitivity purposes. We are just now finishing the design. I'm going to be in Italy in a couple weeks to interface with the Italian company that will be making the cameras that will come to UCSD. And just a few months down the road, early next year, we will start getting delivery of these cameras and start the testing and integration phase where we make sure they work like we want them to, and we start bringing in all the other components, including the lenses and the filters and the detectors and all the electronics, and building all that in together and testing that here at San Diego over the next year or so before we're sending it to Chile.